well, developing this Pokemon app, and I have assigned all these values, ID values, to each and every all 10 Pokemons, and then I also here we define these array of the Pokemons. Then we have image view, and then we set these Pokemons here. So here we are just say that if it is 0, then give the Blastoise, and then assigning all those Pokemons to each and every index value. And after that, for each index value we are assigning the click event. And remember last time when we are only assigned 4 values, so we write those click event inside the case. So we don't need to write that inside the case, only one time is quite fine. For each index value we can assign because we are running the same method inside that one. And here we say if it is this, then change the image to Blastoise. If it is Bulbasaur, then change the image to the Bulbasaur, and here it is running. So if I just change it, it is automatically. So what I will do, I will just put that one inside our projects folder inside the drive, so you can download and you can check what you also have done some experiments and complete the project, but you can, as a sample, you can reference point, you can take that one from there as well. Okay, so let's get back to the slides again using the linear layout, because right now we are only talking about a linear layout. So we will build this application, and then this is the end of our this lecture. Okay, one by one, what I will do, I will just try to copy paste which is already done, and then we can see what is inside that. So let me close that project, or maybe I can open the previous one which I created.
Layout will make first and then add the function.
Yeah, then add the functions. So if I just say that our calculator app, so we have the calculator app, so let me close it down everything, and open this one. So we have this layouts, and inside we have this one. So inside our drawables, if I have downloaded all these different type of buttons and things, and they are also available inside that image resource folder on the drive. So they are already there. So what you need to do, you need to copy that one, and then you need to just right click on the drawables and the paste here. So when you paste it, it will get all those things. So now first of all, which is our linear layout, we say that gravity is the center, and then we are putting some padding, and then the orientation is vertical. And after that, this is a text view, which is right here. This text view, I set the text, I say the text color, the text size, and the style, and then we are leaving some margin at the bottom of the widget. Then we have the view, which is showing that line, this line, this purple line or pink line, what you can say that. Then we have edit text, in which actually what you can say that the informations are going to come when you click on these buttons, then it is going to work on that. So we are assigning that ID. We already talked about that ID. That ID is something which is we can use here in the what you can say that inside our XML file. We can always use the resources using the add sign, add drawable. If I just say that in the image view, where is the image view? Do we have an image view? Yes, we have the later on. So here, if I want to access a resource, then I say add the date of drawable, add the date of layout, add the date of. But inside our Java, we say r.id or r.layout or r.string or r.array and so on. So there we are using the R class, R dot, and then the type of that variable or resource kind, and then whatever the ID that has been assigned, or the unique integer value that has been assigned. So we can use that one. But inside the XML, we say add the rate of drawables, add the rate of strings, add the rate of IDs. So we are assigning the ID to this edit text, and then set some properties. Hint is 0. Then again this view, that view is showing up that line, and then after that we have these buttons. So for the first row, because it is a linear layout and it's a vertical, so everything should go down. But what I did, so here I create this, I will expand later on these. So the first linear layout, inside I have a nested layout and which contain these buttons, these row of the buttons. And this one here, the gravity is center and it is horizontal. So now if we put the buttons there, they are going to the right of the previous one. So here I say put an image button, and look at that. When I want to access the drawable resource as a source, so it is say add the rate of drawable, not the ID. If I want to access something string, so or color, so every resource is going to, okay, I will just say Control Z. We can get, so this is a 7. I'm putting that as a image button, then I'm putting as a image button 8, then I'm putting the image button 9, then I'm putting the image button slash or divide. And the other thing, by default, if I don't use this part, look, that automatically by default it is leaving some padding inside. So but here it's much more. So again, you need to check that which is more when you're designing the UI, how it is look, how it is, what style is more appropriate and what is not. So by default it's leaving some padding, but I don't need that padding. I just want a little bit bigger image, and then complete button is covered with that, so I remove that padding. Again, margin, I leave some space around that. So this is our first row of the buttons. And then again, because I also need another row, so again I same kind of, only thing is now the images are being changed. So again, horizontal center, that is a linear layout, and this contains the button for 4, 5, 6 and the multiplication, the same layout that we have used for the first row. Second row, then we talk about the third row. Here again we have the horizontal and center, which is the gravity and the orientation for the linear layout. And here I put the buttons for 1, 2, 3 and the image button for the negative sign. And then here, because I want this one to be a little bigger, so what I did here, so for the 0 button, again it is the center, and by default it is horizontal. Whether I define the orientation or not, it is considered as a horizontal. So here put a 0 button, but what I did, I just try to make the background of this image button the same as the color of the button. Okay, now actually this image is here, but the background color is same, so it looks the same for me. Okay, and then I extend it. I just say that the size of the width is fixed, so I'm just trying to figure out that what is the appropriate what you can say that size for that one. Okay, and what else we can do? So then we have put the plus button, then I have these buttons here. So linear layout, here I say vertical rather than having the horizontal. I put the equal button, and then we also have the reset button. Reset button, I mean, if I just want to reset the things, it will just make this say 0, and if there is some selection of the operation has been done, it will just reset everything to the starting position. Okay, so this is our linear layout. So let's start our next lecture. Which is lecture number 3, I suppose. So in this lecture we will more talk about the constraint layout. First, allow me to run that video. So I will just enable people itself that what is an Android layout. So if I just click on that, No, does not allow me to. No, but anyway, I have given the resource. If you click on that link here from that top in the slides, you can click on that link and you can see that video. The main thing is here we are putting some constraints. Remember in the beginning, by default it is a constraint layout, and we see that we are trying to put the top towards the top of the, we are pulling it towards the top of the page, towards the left of the page, towards the right of the page, to the bottom of the page. So based on the parent, but we can also say that there's another element inside and we want to align the top or the bottom or the left or the right to the top and bottom or left of the other widget as well. So we can apply these constraints. Okay, like here we are saying that pull this A widget towards the left of the parent. Here we are saying that pull this B towards the right of the A, pull this C towards the bottom of the A. So we have different type of constraints that we can apply. Left of this one align with the left of the A, so they will perfectly align with itself. Then here we are saying that align the left of B with the left of A, but leave some space. Okay, the same is that the contents are center of that one, center of that one. So we have different type of constraints that we can apply. Now if I want to do something, first of all let me quickly close that project. You can't see, I think so. Yep. So I will just end that. So I just create a new project, constraint layout. I put that one here. I say constraint layout, and then I finish. It will create that project for me. And what I want to do else, that I want to put some image resources here. Maybe I can just use the Pokemons to show you a few things. Still working on creating that project. So what we will do, I will add a few things and then we can try to apply different type of constraints on it, and then it will give you the idea of what you mean by the constraints. Okay, so once it is settled down or create that project, finish the setting up this project, then we can start working on it. Yep. So first of all I need to go, I copy those Pokemon files, images. I just right click on my drawable folder and say I want to paste it. Yes, I want to put that into, so we have these Pokemons here. I just close that one for the time being. Still working on the layout, indexing the things. So here is a status bar where we can see that what is happening in our project. Okay, what else we have here? We also talk about the R class. I think that I don't need to repeat that thing. We discussed in the last lecture that what is R class. It's a resource class. Each and every resource is assigned a unique integer value by the system, layouts, images and strings, and then we can access them using the r.layout, r.color, r.drawable, r.string, r.style, and then whatever that. So again here you can see that r.layout.activity_main. So it is a layout file which is here inside our layout. This is our activity_main. So this is a layout, a source file. This has been assigned a unique integer value which is like 130 or 1,330,000 or 300,000, 1.3 million. So they assign certain random number, but it should be unique within your project. Okay, and this is if you want to access and add an ID, then automatically r.id we can access that main or Pokemon or images or whatever we want to say. And then this is our example R class. Inside the R class we have the attributes, we have the drawable class, we have the ID class, we have a label class, and inside there has been defined those, automatically defined those variables. which are public, static and final integer values. Okay, let's go back. I think, yep, it's all done. So I want to open that one, and then here we have the constraints: top of the parent, and to the end of the parent, start to the start of the parent, this constraint. Okay, so all these constraints, and then we can also have this one, guidelines, clear. Anyway, so we are going to add one more thing here, which is an image view, and then we can say that I don't want to say that, I would say that I would like to make it 150 dp and 150 dp, and then we say source is a blastoise, and we say that by default there is no constraint, we have not applied any constraint yet. So let me this one is an id. I'm assigning an id to this text field, so I say text view underscore text. So now if I just say that constraint right to the right of parent, we can say parent. So what is happening here? Well, now we say left to the right of the parent. So what will happen? It is going out of the screen. So if I just change that thing to right, then you can see that now right is aligning itself to the parent. Okay, we need to have two constraints, very important. One is a left and one is a top. If you are not specifying those, then it will always give you the error message here. If I just bring my cursor here, and you can see that this view is not constrained vertically. We have done horizontally to the right, but not vertically. So what I need to do here, so maybe I can say that constraint top to the bottom of, top to the bottom of what, id or tv text. So what is happening? So this is our, if I just try to put some background here, background and what, black. So you can imagine, so this is a bottom of this text view, and I'm saying that the top of this one should align with the bottom. Okay, or here I say right to the right of this one, so I can also say that id and text view. So now the right side is aligning with itself to the right. So we have two parent is the constraint layout which contains this widget. So this image view is inside the constraint layout, so that's why it is a parent. And we are saying that align it to the right of the parent, left of the parent, top of the parent, or the bottom of the parent. Or we can say that the other widgets, but if we have not assigned this part, what will happen? I don't know what is that id underscore tv underscore text. So if you want to align different elements with respect to each other, then you need to provide that id. If you don't provide the id, then it is not going to work. So we have two different ways. Number one thing, we can align the elements based on the parent, top, left, right and bottom, or we can align it to the other elements. Okay, what other constraints we have? So we have layout constraint left to the right of baseline underscore creator, and baseline to the baseline of, baseline to the bottom of something, baseline. Okay, let me see that if I can just do that and then say that tv text. Now this is our, we are saying that constraint baseline to the bottom of this one. So this is the bottom of this one, and it is, there's a right top to the bottom of, no. So what is a baseline? So we need to figure out that what is baseline meaning, okay, and then based on that we can, so we also have other constraints. Top, left, normally we use top to the bottom of, top to the top of, left to the left of, left to the right of, you know. Constraint circle, circular angle, that's guide, height. So layout constraint, left and underscore creator, left to left of this one, start, tag, top to the top of, vertical bias. So we can constrain vertical bias. Vertical bias is, we are putting the horizontal bias or vertical bias, you know, if both sides are pulling. For example, if I just try to change that thing here, constraint left to the left of parent, and constraint right to the right to the right of parent, and then I say bias, horizontal bias, okay. Constraint horizontal bias, for example 30 or 0.3, yes. If I don't apply this thing, they are both pulling them at the same strength and it will center lined. But when I put a bias here, what happened? If it is a bias is 0.3, if it is negative, no, I think it's more like the it is bias mean that this power is more as compared to this one, so it is trying to, you know, align it to the 30% size of this one. So there's a bias one as well, so we can try to make that. If we don't apply the bias, horizontal bias, then it means that it is going to be aligned, both forces are equal, and then it will be center lined if they are opposite direction. We can also put the vertical bias again, okay. So this is how we can align the things in the constraint layout. And if we try to make that constraint layout, or let me quickly, this one, constraint layout for the Visual Studio Code, and I just try to put that one. This is our, if I just try to go into my layout folder and I say that I want to add a new layout file, new layout resource file, and I say that what constraint underscore layout underscore file, and if I just could put a capital F, I say no, all the resources must be have the small letters, not capital letters are allowed. And sometimes it's a problem when you're copy pasting the things from the other places, you know, some images, and then they have their names with the capital letters, then what will happen? It create a problem. So you need to understand that thing. Other thing is which is not allowed here, like dash, no, dash is not allowed. Underscore yes, but dash is not allowed. So capital letters, dash is not allowed in the name of the resource. So when I click OK, it create a resource file for me, and it's trying to figure it out. And again, I just control V. I am controlling, I'm putting that thing here from my buttons. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to put those resources here. Pokemon resource, I have these calculator app resources, I just put those things here. If in my drawable folder, then this will automatically fix the problems. No? Yep. So here we are using the constraints, not the linear layout and nested linear layout and so on. So what is that? So we have a constraint layout, and inside we have the TV. So we give the name, and then we have another view, and now we are putting that this constraint, the top of this constraint top should be the bottom of this previous one. And here we say top to the top of the parent, left to the left of the parent, right to the right of the parent. So vertically or horizontally center aligned, and it is sticking to the parent. And then next one is under that one view. Then this edit text is under this view, and then of course if we want to use as a constraint reference point, we need to assign the ID. Okay, so I assign the ID. Okay, and then same is for this view, which line which is going below that edit text. And after that, here where I say that for the 7, I am saying that left to the left of the parent, and top to the bottom of this line, this view, this one, number line, v underscore number line. And then we are saying the next button left should be aligned with the right of this one. Left should be aligned with the right of the button 7, and the top should be aligned with the bottom of the number line. Okay, and next button again left to the right of the 8, and the bottom top should be bottom of the number line. The same is for this one. So here we are not using the nested layout, we are using the constraints to put them at the right place. Okay, so we can just drag on that, and then after that we can just simply start implementing the click events and all that. Is it clear? So we see the same is if I just try to show you the other project. We have just Pokemon application in the new window, and here if I just open that resource folder, inside I have that Pokemon constraint, and here actually again we have the constraint layout, and inside we have image view. We are assigning the left to the left of the parent, top to the top of the parent, and then right to the right of the parent. And after that, the view, the next line is actually going to the bottom of the image view. So top to the bottom of the image view. Again we have this text view, it will go to the top of this text view, should go to the bottom of this image line. And then we have scroll view, which is again parent, and then that scroll view is going to the bottom of that text view. And then we have the other things inside, the blast wise and so on. Here we don't need to put the constraints. Why? Because that radio button is inside the scroll view, which is containing that one. All the constraints which are we have applied on the scroll view, they are automatically, because this is a child, this one is a child of the scroll view. The bigger one, the outer one, which is inside the constraint, we apply the constraints, but for the nested objects we don't need to apply the constraints because they are the part of the scroll view. So the constraint of the scroll view automatically applied on that. So we get all these, and of course it is, if I just try to go and rather than, because we given the same name, so here I say activity Pokemon constraint, and then I also the .id main underscore constraints, and after that I don't need to change any code because I use the same IDs in that one, and if I rerun that code here it will work, changing the images. Okay, now it is running actually the constraint layout, not the linear layout, but still everything is running. So what I did change here, I change only this thing, that instead of using the activity underscore main, use the new activity, this activity to fill our GUI, which is a constraint layout. And here I also put the find by view ID. So actually we have this one, this ID that we have assigned to the constraint layout, that we are using to find out, to set up the full screen view and so on, putting some padding so that it is not overlapping with the system widgets and system things. Okay, I will put that application in the folder so that you can access it. Okay, so we talk about that. Any questions so far? Constraints or the R, ID, resource files, assigning the unique integer values to them? No? Okay.
Which do you think is easier? Linear layout or constraint?
Again, the linear layout is better, or the constraint layout is better. If you look at the linear layout, yes, it is nested, but it is much more simpler and easier to implement. On the other hand,
You have to write a lot of code.
yeah, on the other hand, constraint layout, you don't need to write much code, but it will become more complex. Okay, which one is going to the bottom or the right or the left of which one, and then you need to figure out that constraints. And so the complexity level increase in the constraint layout, but at the same time we are applying the constraints, but we are reducing the number of objects that we need to create. In the linear layout, it takes more memory. The reason is that we need to create a different type of objects, linear layout, nested linear layout, again nested linear layout. So the number of objects that we are creating in that layout are more as compared to the constraint layout. So constraint layout is, what you can say, in terms of the memory is more efficient, but in terms of the coding, linear layout is easier to code. Okay, and the complexity level of the coding is increased in the constraint. So give and take, there are some plus points, some negative points are all there. So if you want to stick to the simpler layout, linear is better. If you can handle that complexity of the constraints, then that one is better. And again, it also depends on what you can say, that the memory requirement, the performance requirement. So we need to look at all those constraints, and then we can see that which one is better and which one is not. Again, UI versus UX, user interfaces and user experience. User interface is visual design, choosing the color, typography, plan the visual aesthetics, expert in the mockups, graphics, and the layouts. So it is more like that what is visual to the users. On the other, user experience mean that the interaction, how the user is interacting with the application. Is it easier or it is difficult? If the interaction is difficult, it means that user needs to be patient, user need to learn few things so that interaction become easier for him. So there's a learning curve for the user. But if it is easier, then it is no learning curve for the user. So experience will tell us that is your user is happy with your application. For example, if you are designing an application for the kids, you will have different colors, cartoons, some sounds which are attracting those kids towards that application. So we will try to use that. But if you are designing an application for a person which is above 50, you use the same design? No. Why? Because they are more mature, they don't like that kind of too much noise and that kind of stuff. Maybe they want a very peaceful, calm design so that they can enjoy that application, or maybe if they are doing some work, then they can be relaxed rather than the shocking colors or something. No. So based on the user, their age group, what they are doing, gamers, of course, that's a different domain. For the gamers, maybe the UI need to be different, more like a children's or something. But again, that is something which is not only for the children. Maybe they are not very much, worried about the quality of the image, but the gamer will be, you know. So based on the user, which user we are targeting in our application, then our user experience is going to be different. Okay. Event handling, we see that event handling, the click event that we handled last time in our, when we click on the Pokemon button, then it will just change the image. So we also have the other focus, get focus, leave the focus, and of course, where is the focus one? Focus is always coming when the user can interact with that widget, whether it's a button, whether it is a text view, whether it is a, what you can say, that input field. So when it is getting the focus, do you want to perform some action in that, then you need to implement that get focus event. And if focus is leaving that one, I mean focus is getting out of the focus, or they are not being interacted right now, so then we can say that leaving the focus, we need to implement that. Text selected, you are selecting a text, whenever you are selecting a text in some applications, what happen, it automatically pop up, you want to copy, cut, or paste that one, or select all, that kind of options comes up. So that is an event which has been implemented, and then it will show up you that pop up or options, that what you want to do with that selected text. Item selected, in the radio button, we can say that yes, item selected, rather than click event, we can say also when that specific item is selected, what we want to do. And then you can change name, I mean, in the edit text, if the text is being changed, yes, we can implement that kind of a stuff. All these complete, I mean, there are thousands of events that we can implement. So implementing event in Java, first of all, if we want to implement an event in Java, first thing that we need to access that UI element inside the Java. How we can access it? We need to first assign an ID inside the XML file, and then using that ID value, we can access that element inside the Java code. Assign an event handler, just like we say that image view dot set on click event. So when you say on click event, you need to press a button, black button on the, first press the button and then you can open the door. Welcome. So assign an event handler method to perform an action. So we have already seen that thing, how we can implement that. Is it clear? So we also this what you can say, make this number game. What is happening here? Of course, right on top, I am showing you this text view. After that, I have written down the rules, and then I show two buttons. One is on the left side, one on the right side, and then randomly show two numbers on it and make sure they are not right, though not equal, because we are asking that click on the bigger number. When it click on the bigger number, then it will change the scores. If it is a bigger number clicked, get a 5 points, add 5 points. In the beginning it is 0, and if it is a wrong button which is clicked, then person will lose the 5 points. So I will leave this lecture at this point, that you can implement this application by yourself, and then on Wednesday we are going to implement that thing here and record a video. Any questions? No? Well, thank you.